me give him 6 paid, been I'm making break it. Smack her all upside her head and let her feel my paper stick. She gon' try to make it look as if I'm going out like a hoe. Never think twice about a bitch, cause when you flip it, then you know. Don't get caught up with no other bitches, try to get your head, make it break it. Take that hoe and have that hoe yanking your bread. Rearrange the situation, clap and go and think before. Always stay a step ahead and make her make your ass flow. Get that bitch a big nigga, keep that hoe up on the car. Let her know that what you saying is gon' be there for both of y'all. Take her money, leave her hanging, put that bitch and get your G. Think that bitch gon' get my mind, ain't fuck that shit, my nigga please. Money gave me what I do to put and make my business deep. If you speak my flippin' nigga, I'm gon' have to speak your beat. See I'm flippin', make my money, making on bitches, that's my dude. Get your hoe up out my face, plus I'm thanking these fools, bitch. Woo!
That is 211-187 by Hearst T. And, of course, we're looking at a screenshot from the Rodney King incident that, of course, caused riots in the 1990s. How you doing, folks? I am Abandoned Nihilism, a.k.a. the hardest motherfucker on Twitch, a.k.a. motherfucker needs a goddamn shower. What the fuck? Yeah, I haven't showered. I don't fucking care. Dropped my kid off, took care of the dog, smoked a little weed, had a really nasty, disgusting breakfast. This coffee is fucking puke. Oh, every sip is disgusting. Every sip is disgusting of fucking McDonald's coffee. We were watching a clip from Tartuffe, The Imposter, 1983. I will be streaming this in its entirety very soon when I get a chance. Garbage Fuel competitor, absolutely. I mean, you know, sometimes you'll get a Garbage Fuel, like I said, from a Krispy Kreme that can taste really sweet, you know. But this is consistently shit. You can expect this to taste like Dookie every single time, whereas Garbage Fuel, I mean, only once in a while does it taste like Dookie. You know, you don't want the dumpsters outside of, you know, the vet, you know, stuff like that. You know, it just depends on, you know, supply and demand, you know, where we get the supply, man. There's garbage juice everywhere, okay? You just got to pump it out. It's fine. Anyway, news time. I have very little time. We got to get it. I know I was going to do cyber fuck you, but no, I can't. There's so much news. Welcome back, Chem Goblin #1 in the chat, and welcome back, Ponder Monkey with the D&D reference. You know your boy loves you D&D. I actually haven't played D&D proper, but I have, you know, there's so many video games inspired by D&D. Then, of course, you have the D&D games themselves, which, you know, vary in quality, but there's a couple bangers out there. There's a couple bangers out there. Baldur's Gate, looking at you, Baldur's Gate. Planescape Torment. Planescape Torment. Planescape Torment fucked me up, dude. When I was able to kill this suit of armor that had some kind of soul or something in it, and I was able to convince it to die and pass on just through conversation. I didn't have to touch it with a sword. It blew my mind. It was like a 25-minute dialogue tree. But at the end of it, the guy, he's like, yep, you're right. And then he just dies. The spirit disappears, and then the armor falls apart. And he's like a really tough boss. He's like really fucking hard to kill if you try to kill him, you know, with the physical attacks. Planescape Torment fucked me up, dude. Okay. Headlines. Let's do this, bitch. It's the News Underground. Folks, if you're like, what the fuck is going on? If you're new here, this is the News Underground, the hardest motherfucking news channel on Twitch. We actually keep it real. We cut through the nonsense. We cut through the fat. We get right to the bone of the issue. We call out the fakes. We call out the grifters. We call out the bad actors. I try to avoid meaningless debate. If it's not about action, if it's not about how we're taking down the enemies of freedom and liberty, I'm not really too interested in that conversation. Leave that shit to the philosophers. Leave that shit to the people who, got a full brain in their head, okay? I'm a fighter. That's what we do. It's political activism. That's what we do. And one way the only way to achieve political activism is to actually absorb information, to learn. So that's what we do here. It's an exercise. Yeah, I'm tooting my own horn. Oh, every sip is hell. Every sip is disgusting. All right, moving on. So Virginia Republican elector ousted from party. He's live, folks. Hey, female eunuchs over there on her Linux computer. What are you running again? What was it, CentOS? I know I'm a Mint guy. I like Mint because I'm a newbie. So no, Virginia Republican elector ousted from party after refusing loyalty pledge. Maybe some Debian. You rocking that Pop OS. Pop OS. Check it out, folks. There's nothing more fun to do on an afternoon than to, go to Distro Watch and load up some distros and, fire them up on the USB and you're like, oh, this is neat. What the hell is this? This is cool. I use Arch. Oh, Chem Goblin Arch. Oh, Arch is even, dude, Arch, fuck you, dude. Arch is like, it's the ultimate. I'm a badass. I'm a badass programmer because, like, look, for newbies who don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, with Arch, you got everything. You just have to build it. Doesn't just open up to a command prompt, and you have to, if you want a UI, you have to install it. If you want Wi-Fi, you have to install it, etc., etc. You have to do almost everything manually. No? Am I thinking of something different? Okay, I might be thinking of something different. So didn't pledge loyalty to Daddy Trump. Welcome back, Krillazanath, and thank you for keeping Gentoo. Maybe it's Gentoo. Anyway, Virginia Republican elector ousted from party after refusing loyalty pledge. So this is interesting, and it's the snake is already eating the tail. God help us all. God help us all. If Trump gets into power, if he actually wins this election, because they're already falling apart. That's all I need to say. Let's get into it.
Removed 4 of its top members over refusal to sign loyalty pledges.
But the former vice chair says these pledges look different and he would not give his signature. Avery Davis has our top story at 6.
In my hand are copies of the loyalty pledges.
Oh, that's nice.
Two of them signed by Jim Herring and one he refused to sign. He says that's because...
Girl, get back to class. What is she doing out of class? It's clearly a school day. What the fuck is happening right here? Are school children allowed to be on the news now?
Because it named 3 specific candidates, including this man.
If the 3 pieces of paper I'd already signed were worthless, I'm not sure why there's so much value in this one.
Jim Herring says he's been a Republican his whole life, rising to the top of his area's party as vice chair of the 5th District Republican.
Your party has completely left you. Your party is complete. You're wearing American flags. How come those aren't Trump flags? Where's your Make America Great Again hat? Where's your Trump picture of Trump on your wall? You're not even a real fucking Republican, dude. Your party has completely left you. I know I'm supposed to feel bad for these fossils that are so nostalgic for the Republican Party. They refuse to let it go. Nicole Wallace is another one, still calling herself a Republican. I was thinking to myself today while listening to Morning Joe Bloviate, Joe Scarborough, Bloviate, because I hate myself. It's what I do in the morning. Nice little 15 minutes of hate with Joe Scarborough. I was thinking to myself, I bet this motherfucker still calls himself a Republican. They have some fucking nostalgia for this shit, and the party has left them, transformed them, and it's literally to their face saying, you're no longer a Republican, get the fuck out of this party. And they're still like, oh, gee, maybe we can work it all, it's just a misunderstanding. Dude, you have created a monster. It has gotten completely out of control, and all you're doing is showing how pathetic you are by refusing to let it go. All right. If you gave a shit about the flags that adorn your body, you would reject the Republican Party with all of your strength, Jim. But you don't, because you're weak. You're holding on to this nostalgia for a party that no longer exists. And I could extend the same sentiment to the MSNBC gobbling wine moms who think neoliberals can't do no fucking wrong. Let go of your nostalgia. Let go of your unearned loyalty to these corrupt sons of bitches and hold them to account so that we can have a functioning government, you slap-happy son of a bitch. I'm sorry. But I know I'm supposed to feel so sorry for this guy, but I don't. Frankenstein's monster has gotten loose, and these fucking sons of bitches are sitting there gobsmacked with a Pikachu face.
Republican his whole life, rising to the top of his area's party as vice chair of the 5th District Republican Committee, and will be voting as part of the Electoral College. Now, he isn't sure where he stands.
They wanted you to sign one.
Leave the party,
specifically list
jackass.
candidates, which has never been done in my memory of 40-some years.
Signing these forms, but not signing this one, got hair.
So he's like, oh, I signed some other loyalty pledges. I'm loyal.
Of 40-some years.
Signing these forms.
The fact that he wears a flag that represents liberty and he's signing loyalty pledges shows how fucking stupid he is. That flag represents liberty and independence. It doesn't. It's not. I'm gonna be a good boy. Yeah, I'm a good boy. That's not what the flag represents. Fealty to a fucking political party. The founding fathers would puke.
But not signing this one got Herring booted from the party.
Deemed resigned. That's the terminology.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
I did not resign.
Jackass.
I have not resigned. But they say that you were deemed resigned because of your failure to sign.
And I haven't even mentioned the fact that you're not even supposed to be wearing the flag and doing that shit to the flag. I haven't even mentioned that. This is me going easy on this motherfucker, dude. This is me going easy.
In the form.
Denver Riggleman is a former 5th District congressman and former Republican. Riggleman says loyalty oaths as a whole are undemocratic and push loyal Republicans away from the party.
You have individuals like Jim who's out there, doing the Republican thing, supporting the party, and then you're forcing individuals to do some kind of loyalty oath.
Riggleman says the party he once was a part of is putting their energy in the wrong places.
I think it's sort of synonymous with what's going on when crazy eats its own tail. When you have people that are completely loyal to Trump, and then they're
I just want tax cuts for the rich. I didn't know we were going to do a mass deportation, death squads against liberals. I didn't. Project 2025 is full-blown fascism. There's no way to argue around that. I didn't want this. This is exactly what you wanted. Fucking Rush Limbaugh and Newt Gingrich were talking about similar shit, hinting at it. All all the respect, all the all the mutual disagreements, but still an understanding that we're here for the people. All that was first enthusiastically thrown away by the Republicans. Let's not forget Clinton, though, who said, hey, Clinton, who looked at the Republicans and said, hey, that's a good way to win. What if the Democrats were Republicans and they had a big blowout win once, and that's been the strategy ever since Clinton. Go to the right, go to the right, go to the right, and they're still doing it.
Putting out loyalty pledges. I think that shows you how nutty they've become.
But Kyle Kondik with the University of Virginia Center for Politics says this loyalty oath debacle goes to show the wounds from the close 5th District primary and the recount that followed have not yet healed.
I do think it's reasonable for a party to expect that once a primary is decided, that people in leadership of the party will sort of move on from the primary and they will support the ticket.
Like I've said this before, I'll say it again. They're not there for the party. They're there for the cult of personality. And once that cult of personality disappears one way or the other, becomes irrelevant or dies, this whole apple cart's getting upchurned. And it's going to be fun to watch, but it's also going to be scary if they're in any positions of power, because they're going to do incredibly authoritarian and desperate stuff. If you'll have a situation where Texas and Kentucky and Arizona and Oklahoma, all these incredibly right-wing areas. There's going to be situations where they're going to be told certain things by the federal government. You have to respect abortion, et cetera, et cetera. And we're going to have a situation like what we had with school integration, where the goddamn president had to send in the National Guard to escort a little black girl into school so that all this madness could be buttoned down. It's like it's not going to change. Get used to it. That's probably hopefully what we see. That's actually the good scenario, because that means China. Where is it?
China.
Kamala is in charge.
Obviously, this is
the West Virginia
has been a really
bill.
Heated situation.
I think
Jeff Ryer is chairman of Virginia's 1st District Republican Committee and among those behind the new loyalty pledges. In a statement to 29 News, Ryer says the loyalty pledges were sent in response to media reports that implied division within the 5th District Party and adhere to the party's guidelines. Ryer says
the W situation, this is different. W was not a cult of personality. After 9/11, he had a big boost. There was a big thing, patriotic, but it never turned into the cult of Bush. The Trump thing is different,
Like former Congressman Riggleman, those not supporting the nominees might call themselves Republicans, but they are not entitled to leadership positions. Avery Davis, 29 News.
Isn't that cute? Isn't that adorable? Oh, that's adorable. All right, moving on. We got to keep it snappy here. You've heard all my comments. So more terrible news for women's liberty in Texas. What's most interesting about this, to me, about Texas? House introduces a resolution to not recognize illegitimate presidential election. What, another meaningless resolution that's going to go nowhere? Wow. They're really doubling down. During a special session on Sunday, several West Virginia delegates introduced a resolution requesting that the state legislature not recognize an illegitimate presidential election. So thank you, female eunuchs, for showing this is exactly what I'm talking about. With any gasp, any ability, right? Because they, in some of these places, probably in this one, West Virginia here, they have like complete control. The local Senate, the local Supreme Court, the local Congress, the governor, the mayor, all of them, the courts are packed. The judges are all Republican. The district attorneys are all Republican. Like, it's all Republicans, right? And they've set up a system where it's just, it's almost impossible to function as a lefty in some of these environments. And they're gonna be running into a situation where the federal government is going to be challenging the local state governments. Like, no, you have to. You're not. This isn't the West Virginia country of West Virginia. You're part of the union. Suck it up. The more of that happens after Trump, post-Trump, the more of those reality checks happen, the more the trolls go in the bridge. It's the deep state. It's the deep state. Oh yeah, it's conspiracy. It's CIA. It's the gay frogs. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Right? Whatever excuse, the stupids. You'll never convince them, the legitimate reasons. Doesn't matter. They go back into political irrelevancy, which is the best case scenario. You're not going to fact check the stupidity out of these people. Okay? It's like a wine stain. You're not getting rid of it. So this is really interesting. Resolution continues by saying that all these fucking Republicans voted for it. So HRC 203, this is embarrassing, states that the Democrat-led regime has utterly failed and continues to fail. That's totally your opinion, bro. Objectively, it's done an okay job. In terms of economy, not great, but not dismal. There's no Brexit. In a suspicious manner, in its absolute duty to adequately protect the Republican nominee for president. The Democrat-led regime has utterly failed and continues to fail in a suspicious manner in its absolute duty to adequately protect the Republican nominee for president. Before the resolution states that if there is, quote unquote, abundant evidence that non-citizens have been or are being registered to vote in a national election of 2024. Okay, great. So it's a meaningless resolution because this is easily provable. This is literally not a problem. Illegal immigrants that are scared out of their mind about getting deported, register to vote, and show up without the proper documentation. They just fill out the forms, and when it gets to like your social security number and stuff, they just make some shit up. But then they get to vote Democrat. Then it works in the fantasy world, right? And they're like, well, if we see that happening, okay, yeah. Well, I tell you what, go ahead and pass a bill where if you see a unicorn, it magically means you're not secretly gay. I don't know. I tried to be funny and I failed. Leave me alone. I'll try to find a post that little proves it, a little hard since it happened only 10 minutes ago and there might just be rumors. Yeah, Carl. So that's all. So that's very interesting. Thank you for that link, female eunuchs. Frightening stuff. And it just backs up what I'm saying is that if they lose, if Trump becomes irrelevant or dies, they're going to take it as hard as they can. They're going to be challenging the federal government. Those emoticons are so fucking cool. Those little emojis are so fucking cool. I love video game golf games. They're amazing. Back to this. Oh, wow. Everyone has it. Is this a new one? Is this like, oh, this is so cool. Everyone has it. This is so neat. Everyone's got the golf thing. Golf clap. Everyone golf clap. Golf clap. Everyone's got the golf. Is this a free one? What, are you guys all subscribed to PewDiePie or something? The Supreme Court just allowed hospitals in Texas to watch women to die from pregnancy complications. This is not a joke. This, and once again, going back to what I was saying yesterday, this is a sample of what we can expect if these people take over. The complete stripping of body autonomy, not just for women. You think it's just going to end with women? Because lots of Republicans got all kinds of opinions on what men should and shouldn't do with their foreskin. Right? Men got all kinds of opinions there. I bet J.D. Vance has all kinds of little opinions about that. Well, I got sexual hang-ups about foreskin, so I think my religion says foreskin bad, so I'm going to pass a law that says foreskin bad. It's paid for in Hype Train. I'll show you. Oh, okay. Well, that's very cool. Those are neat. It's almost like this is a real Twitch channel when you guys post those little emojis. It's like, it's almost like it's real. Almost. Welcome back, Borderline Feline. So anyway, yeah, I don't need to delve into this too much because it's disgusting. It's real. Yeah, I'll fix that. I'll fix that problem, Kim Goblin. This is very real. This is exactly what how they want to treat us, what they're gonna do to us, and that's all I can say is that if to the men who think it's they pretend to care because their wife cares or whatever, their girlfriend cares, but it's like, well, it's one of those back of the mind issues. Oh yeah, I mean that sucks, whatever. It's not going to stop with women, jackass. Okay, they're gonna get all up in your. And you think it's going to stop with adults? We already have Republicans attempting to pass laws where they get to literally inspect the genitals of your children. I just reported on a story yesterday where the school they had to install a genderless bathroom, right? A unisex bathroom for other sex children and teenagers and adolescents. And they put a fucking window directly in from the hallway. You're standing in the hallway, and you can see inside to the stalls where people are pooping. Here's the thing about most conservatives, most Republicans. They're little perverts. They're little perverts. They don't like to talk about that unless they have an anime avatar and they're on social media. Then they're happy to tell you how much of a pedophile they are. When a pedo priest is busted, who do you think he votes for? If he votes at all. Moving on. This is disgusting. It's not going... Okay, hold on. Before I move on, the thing that I do want to talk about, and the reason why I have this up on Reddit, is because they can't... The citizens of Texas, get this. They've set it up. The incredibly right-wing government, I don't know if this was Abbott or before Abbott, but the incredible right-wing government of Texas has set up a system where the citizens are not allowed to do a referendum on this. The only way for this to change in Texas, for these laws to change, is if a representative brings it forward. And of course, the representative needs a majority or something, right? So it's immediately squashed. So there are a few liberals that are in Texas that are trying to bring this stuff forward, but it can't even be brought up or deliberated or voted on. It can't even be voted on unless the right-wing majority says it's okay. So people are totally screwed in Texas. There's no way to change this right now. Yeah. So so to mention the other thing that I want to show, Kansas. This is already happening in Kansas. This is already happening in Kansas. What happened in Kansas is not possible in Texas. The legislature has approved any constitutional amendments before this won't happen as long as Republicans hold the majority. Oh, interesting. Okay. So this article gets into it by the Texas Standard. The reason Texans can't vote on abortion and weed. The legislature could give us a chance if it wanted. So this is what they want to set up. This isn't democracy anymore in Texas. Democracy, it's a facsimile. Sorry, facsimile. I always say facsimile. I don't know why, because I'm an idiot. It's a facsimile. And this, they want to do this nationwide. I really love it when people, because we still see it, don't we? We still see it in the chat. Oh, it's okay. I live in California. Come on. Not that big a deal. No, guys, these are nationwide bans. And one thing, and most people, they don't, because they don't hate themselves. They don't watch Tucker Carlson. They don't watch Steve Bannon. They don't watch Charlie Kirk, right? Because they don't hate themselves. So what they don't hear, Benny Johnson is another one. But what they don't hear is how excited these right wingers are. At the prospect of going into super liberal areas in Texas, Austin, Texas, but also going to San Francisco, going to some of the more, Muslim areas in Michigan that are more progressive, et cetera, and enforcing these new draconian laws. They know, they game it out. They know exactly where this is going to lead. When they talk about the world's largest mass deportation, they know that means black bagging sons of bitches and fucking vans and throwing whole family, kicking down the doors and throwing whole families into buses and vans. They want to be there to live stream it. So the it can't happen here crowd, if they could just please wake the fuck up, and I'm sorry to sound like Scanner Darkly here, but wake the fuck up. They're set, you think they're going to pass? You think they're going to do a Joe Biden with the Supreme Court right now, where the Supreme Court says, "Okay, Joe Biden, you're actually technically a king. You can do whatever the hell you want." And Joe Biden goes, "Out of principle, I'm not going to touch those powers." And hey, that's great. Do you think the Republicans are going to extend that same courtesy? Come the fuck on. Come the fuck on. Welcome back. You're tubing. But no, there will be resistance. There will be violent resistance. Some of the mission in San Francisco is not going to go down quietly, and they know it. Benny Johnson knows it. Charlie Kirk knows it. They get a big smile on their face when they go, I know, they're going to resist. They're going to hate it. We're going to start teaching the Bible in their schools, and there's nothing they can do about it. They get a big smile talking about it. Yeah, we're going to have cops force liberals to do things. Yeah. Gasperancia, a lot of voters are like that. And look, stupidity, apathy within a Democratic voter pool that's the burden of the activist. We have to show them, we have to show them with progressive, leftist, democratic, socially democratic policies that their lives can functionally change, can really actually change. That is the burden of the activist. We have to accept that burden. We have to learn how to master that burden through political activism. Moving on to the next story. Hallelujah, dog. Hallelujah. 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 Welcome back, Simply Steve. InfoWars, Free Speech Systems Media Holdings, filing for bankruptcy. All right. Are we all smiling? Are we all happy? Are we all happy now? Okay, here's the bad news. We know some right-wing fucking oligarch is going to buy this shit up, and with a big grin on his face, we're going to see Alex Jones back in front of a camera at InfoWars. We know that's what's going to happen, right? Elon Musk, hey, he might scoop it up, right? If it's a good deal. Borderline feline, you're so mean. You didn't get it. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You guys are so mean to each other in the chat, I swear. Is it because of me? It's because of me, isn't it? Yeah, it's okay. No, you're great. I'm just teasing. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we're all friends again. There we go. That the Papo Crapo guy that I was arguing with that I had to time out was all up in my DMs, dude. I just hit the ban. I just hit the ban. I hate you, whoever you are. No, you don't, Chem Goblin. You don't even hate bad haircuts. Okay? You can't even muster the energy to hate bad haircuts, okay? You don't hate anything. Can I bet on those frogs Alex Jones is always ranting about? One of those frogs is his boyfriend, okay? Alex Jones and the gay frog, they're a very committed relationship. They're in love. How dare you? New World Order. Woke Patriot hates everyone. No, he knows everyone. He knows everyone, dude. He's the Kevin Bacon of politics. I'm telling you. So anyway, great news. It couldn't happen to a better son of a bitch. You know what I mean? It couldn't happen to a more fucking toxic. There used to be the tragedy of Alex Jones is that there used to be something really special about his early work. There was a muckraker quality to it. He was always, unhinged, talking about the aliens, talking about the crazy shit. But there was a muckraking earnestness to Alex Jones, and once the grift kind of formed around him, once he kind of realized, what was happening, and he was able to kind of, steer this crazy ship that was kind of built around him, he completely lost his way. And it is so shocking to me. This is the last thing I need to say about Alex Jones. It's so shocking to me that this guy who's supposed to be anti-oligarchy, deviant, eyes wide shut style, secret billionaire pedo, Jeffrey Epstein style, you know what I mean? Against all of these secret cabals, against the empire, against the government, right? Incredibly critical of the government. It's so sad that this guy, right, who was in Scanner darkly because he so perfectly encompassed all the themes of that movie, right? Conspiracies and like just because you're paranoid doesn't mean that you're not being, followed kind of themes, right? Like there are real conspiracies, et cetera, et cetera. To see this guy turn into the bootlicker for the literal icon, the literal icon of corruption, of scum, of villainy, of anti-liberty, anti-democracy, anti-independence, for him to become the bootlicker for Trump and the MAGA movement, I can't tell you how disgusting it is. So, hey, Big Tuna, you have one more opportunity to prove that you're not a fucking idiot before I ban you. Go ahead and dispense the feces from your orifice, and then I can go ahead and click that ban button. But you have one more opportunity to not embarrass yourself. There we go. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, here he comes. He is. Yeah, look.
I'm gonna come.
He's coming. He's coming all over some prostitute's belly after humping her for 15 seconds, after running to the bathroom to take off his diaper and then running back to the bed so he could do a couple humps for 15 seconds and then blow his little 3-inch load all over her belly. Stormy Daniels gave us a graphic detail what it's like to have sex with Donald Trump, by the way. That's your hero. Fucking two-pump chump, diaper-wearing, lying-ass fascist. I could go on.
I'm gonna come.
Moving on. Slavoj Žižek with a motherfucking, like, this is crazy. This is so crazy to me. When I read this article, I haven't read Slavoj Žižek in a while. I kind of forgot how clear and simple, because when you listen to him, it's like, Batman and Margaret Thatcher and socio-sexual politics and he just he goes all over the place. Right? And it's like, I'm either listening to a madman who's speaking total gibberish, or I'm listening to a brilliant genius that I simply don't have the intellect to keep up with. So when I read this, it blew my mind because like I'm trying to think, okay, I need to be like a fucking 5th year professor in political socioeconomics to keep up with this shit. No, he writes for the dummies. I'm literally going to read this whole article. It's a very small little article about Ukraine, and what shocked me was how succinct and simple and to the point Slavoj Žižek is when you're reading him, not when you're watching an interview.
Shut the fuck.
Okay, let's get to it. So I'm really gonna hunker down and try to read this properly without being a jackass here. So I'm gonna try to have some respect for this material. So Slavoj Žižek writing on October 2nd, 2024. Putin's Ukraine magic. Defying common sense, the Kremlin continues to proclaim with a straight face that its attack on Ukraine was an act of self-defense. Unfortunately, such propaganda strategies matter, not because they might fool us, but because they limit the potential for any serious peace negotiations. Let me go ahead and bump this up. Oops, sorry, wrong thing. 1 second. There we go. Get this nice and big for you guys. Jubaljana? Jubaljana? Not sure what that means. Jubaljana. I sometimes listen to podcasts about the secrets behind the best-known magic tricks, the 3-shell game, mentalism, levitation. And after reading recent news from Russia, I saw an analogy on how Russian propaganda has achieved the seemingly impossible. Defying common sense, the Kremlin continues to proclaim with a straight face that its attack on Ukraine was an act of self-defense. Most magic tricks combine 2 strategies, one to produce the desired effect and another to distract the audience from what is really going on. Russia is doing the same with recent statements that are clearly designed to raise regional tensions around Ukraine. First, the Russian government approved a list of 47 foreign states and territories whose neoliberal attitudes supposedly threaten people with quote-unquote traditional Russian spiritual and moral values. Those on the list are now officially designated as quote-unquote enemy states. Gone is any pretense of supporting a multipolar world. If you do not share Russia's values, you are the enemy. And honestly, I do believe this churn that has been steered by Putin is the beginning of some kind of reckoning, some kind of end, we could say, to the current Russian era. I don't know how it's going to end or when it's going to end, but this is not sustainable. Welcome back, Woke Patriot. Among those who apparently share Russia's values are North Korea, Afghanistan, and Iran. The common element across these regimes is that they regard the European Enlightenment as the ultimate evil. The conflict is thus elevated to a metaphysical religious level, and whenever religion enters directly into politics, the threat of deadly violence is never far behind. Beneath all the talk of a new multipolar world is an eschatological vision of total war to extinction between two opposites. Estiological? I know I'm almost saying that correctly. Hence, should I be reading it like Zizek? I can't do Zizek unless I hear him for a little bit. Hence, soon after releasing his quote-unquote enemies list, Putin declared a new nuclear doctrine that expands, quote, the category of states and military alliances in relation to which nuclear deterrence is carried out, unquote. In a pointed warning to the West, he announced that any attack on Russia by a non-nuclear state that is backed by a nuclear-armed one would be considered a quote-unquote joint attack. Moreover, the Kremlin reserves the right to use nuclear weapons in response to an attack on Belarus, which forms part of its quote-unquote union state. In other words, any case where the enemy quote-unquote creates critical danger to our sovereignty, quote unquote, is a potential casus belli for a nuclear conflict. So it's already there. What are we waiting for? Such statements cannot but make us nostalgic for the good old days of the Cold War. And this is really interesting because I didn't live through the Cold War, so I didn't really understand this as well, but I think I understand a little better now. But this is great. Such statements cannot but make us nostalgic for the good old days of the Cold War, when both sides wisely avoided direct nuclear threats and announced that they would use nuclear arms only in response to a nuclear strike by the other side. So even at the height of the Cold War, everyone's like building bunkers and everything. There was still, no side was like, we're going to use nukes and you better watch out. We're going to do it. It was all language of, we're only going to use nukes if someone uses it against us. And that was like the consistent buzz throughout. So we're already like kind of in terms of rhetoric well beyond the Cold War, which is frightening. Under the conditions of quote-unquote mutually assured destruction, nobody dared to raise the possibility of a nuclear first strike. But now, Russia is not only asserting its right to a first strike, it is even expanding the conditions for justifying it. And, I don't need to get into it, but the one thing that is never talked about, nuclear first strike, is what happens after that first strike. And Russia, as we know it, ceases to exist after that first strike. There's the international community is not going to let that shit sit on the table like it's Georgia. All right. Well, that's that's unfortunate. We don't like that, but we also don't care enough to, it's not like Georgia is a very important ally, so we're not really going to come to its rescue. No. Russia uses a nuke on the battlefield. It completely changes it turns it into a world war, instantly turns it into a world war. Because that's checking the West. That's checking the entire Western democratic order. And if there isn't an appropriate response, then okay. It's geopolitics. That simply cannot be left on the table. That forces one side to make drastic decisions. Anyway, of course, an actual Russian first strike remains unlikely, but in military matters, words are never just words. So he's so brilliant how succinctly he puts all this. It is all too easy for one side to become trapped by its own rhetoric. After thousands of pagers exploded in Lebanon, Iran's delegate to the United Nations said that Israel had again crossed a red line. But at a time when red lines are being crossed regularly, such statements can only make the situation more dangerous. After all, there must be red lines somewhere, but they may not be well understood, implying that we will not know where they lie until they have been crossed. Almost done. It's almost done, folks. The obvious response to Putin is that he is the one who crossed the red line by issuing nuclear threats. Obviously. Right? The gaslighters do a really good job of making you feel stupid, making you feel crazy, right? But that's the cold, honest, hard truth. The obvious response to Putin is that he is the one who crossed the red line by issuing nuclear threats. Russia's not defending itself by invading Ukraine. You're not crazy. Like those commentators who see the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war as a proxy war between Russia and NATO, he would have us believe that Russia was attacked first. Can this be true? Israel would say that it's just acting in self-defense in Gaza, the West Bank, in Lebanon, but say that it is just acting... Israel would say that it is just acting in self-defense in Gaza, the West Bank, and Lebanon, but much is writing on how one defines self here. If I occupy, and he's a genius, folks, because it really is this simple. And I talk about this all the time, how the enemies of peace intentionally complicate arguments, intentionally make situations more complicated than they need to be. But it is just this simple. Listen, if I occupy territory that is not mine and then proclaim it mine, like the West Bank or parts of Ukraine, and if the people who live there resist me, am I acting in self-defense when I crush them? No. No. You don't get to say, but Hamas, and then murder 10,000 children. And, it's actually all good. We were there first. This is the entire international order. This is like the fucking foundation of international law. Put so succinctly, put so simply. The gaslighters do such a good job, right? It's like, no, I'm not crazy. Knowing what is and isn't right and wrong is actually essential to knowing who you are and what you believe in. So as simple as this is, maybe you're all doing a yeah, duh. It's actually important because with moral clarity, you can fight and die knowing you are doing the right thing. It's essential. It's essential when you're fighting against the empire, when you're fighting against the forces that want to destroy you. To know what you are, to know what is right and wrong, to know where you stand. This brings us back to the magician strategies of Russian state propaganda. By accusing his opponents of what he is already doing, Putin wants to divert attention from the fact that he has stolen land and declared it his own. Israel could be applied to this as well. If you accept that Crimea, Donbass, and any other area with quote-unquote traditional Russian values, perhaps the Baltic countries or Moldova, literally any, they would say any Russian-speaking area, is being threatened, or that the Ukrainian nation is some fanciful modern construct, and that's another excuse they're making. Oh, this is kind of a brand new thing. You have fallen for Putin's trick. We're almost done. Understanding Putin's sleight of hand matters for the near term because his combination of propaganda strategies has rendered rational peace negotiations practically impossible. When the terms of negotiation have been falsified from the outset, what progress can be made, right? From the very beginning, it's on a dishonest, shaky ground. Reflecting on the perpetual calls for peace in Ukraine, Luka Lisjak, Gabrielle of Central European University is right to caution that, quote unquote, this is great, peace is all too precious to be left to peaceniks. What do you think about that one, woke patriot? What do you think about that one? I love that. Peace is all too precious to be left to peaceniks. We can't let pacifists, weak pacifists, steer us towards peace. because we live in a human world, and we have to address the realities of violence and force and power, and pacifists. That's kind of their biggest weakness, right? Is that they disagree with that entire concept. And it's like, well, that's a really nice thought, but we don't live there right now, Add Putin's third strategy of deception, presenting a brutal war of conquest as a defense of spiritual values, and his legerdemain looks almost insuperable. All hope now resides in that, quote-unquote, almost. And that's it. That's it, folks. No coherent screams. Look, I mean, the pacifists belong in the argument. They belong in the debate. There is something poetically tragic about the idea that, two armies fighting against each other, all they need to do is stop shooting at each other. There's, for every one general, there's 1,000 soldiers. For every one politician, there's 10,000 battalions, you know what I mean? Et cetera, et cetera. But the problem is that a big problem that we have is that a lot of people are not enlightened enough. They're not really quite aware of their place in the universe, how they're being manipulated, how they're being directed. A lot of people are perfectly happy to be cogs. And they might not even realize that they're happy, content being cogs. Without more enlightenment, without more understanding humanity in general, we'll never see a future. We'll never see the future that pacifists want, where people just, the entire concept of violence becomes outmoded. Why in the world would I fight you? There's literally no reason to be fighting you, right? It's a beautiful idea, and pacifism belongs in the debate. But we're not dealing with, the problem. The problem with pacifism is that it breaks down the moment it runs into authoritarianism, tyranny, despotism. So all you need to be is brutal, and you need to be a brutal despot, and pacifists are crushed. Gandhi, woke patriot, I think, back me up. Am I correct here? It's not fair to say Gandhi was specifically a pacifist. It was like violent resistance, aggressive resistance, something like that. But Gandhi represents, and I talk about Gandhi and Gandhi's, how Gandhi protested, when talking about the Palestinians, because I do believe at this stage the only way forward is to drop the weapons, put down all the rockets, put down all the guns. Reject Hamas, reject anybody that, that dares, try to use violence at this point, but still continue to resist, just non-violently. Yeah. Passive resistance is 100% different than pacifism. Yeah. So, okay. As long as we're all in agreement there. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that article by Slavoj Žižek. I found it fascinating. It's really good stuff. I put the link in the chat if you want it. Moving on to the next story here. Drone boat blast. So if you stuck around long enough, this is why. Sea blitz, horror moment, desperate armed guards on tanker open fire on bomb-laden Houthi drone boat before it smashes into hull. So this has got to be just total... pacifist is a broad term, but Gandhi was most definitely a pacifist. Okay. Civil disobedience. So there's different definitions, because Gandhi didn't say just give up, lie down, and let them win. He said, put your body in front of the bullets. Make yourself a passive resistance, right? Make yourself an obstacle. Resist, but without violence. Show the world, show your enemies, especially that you are better than them. Even if they kill you, all you're doing is proving their point, is that you're the monster and the resistance against you is justified. But anyway, this has got to be a true nightmare fuel. Hopefully this loads up. What disturbing scenes. So yeah, there's no one on the boat. It's barreling towards you. Yeah, neither was King. No. King didn't say give up. King didn't say, you know, you win. Yeah. Oh, shit. Wait, what is that beep boop? Was the fucking thing beeping and booping? No way. Did that thing make a little music ding dong ding and then blow up? That's got to be something else. That's just timed perfectly. That's got to be something completely different. That's got to be something else, right? I think that was the sound of a door. Yeah, that's got to be something on the ship doing that, right? No way, dude. By the way, I don't support the Houthis. I don't support terrorism. I'm not Hassan. I don't think this is cute. I don't think this is productive. I don't think this helps the Palestinians. Okay, just want you to know. But, you know, this is crazy footage, so I'm reacting to it. But I just want you to know where I stand. Yeah, man. I mean, aren't these guys supposed to be trained? Okay, look, you're missing the boat. You're missing it when it's like way the hell out there. Okay, no problem. But homie, you're missing it when you can see the decals off the fucking thing. The timing of that is unbelievable. The audio. One more. Okay, last time. I need to hear that one last time. The timing is literally unbelievable. Wait a minute. Is that the editor? Was that the editor adding that little music note? Dude, we're getting manipulated here. Is the fucking editor adding this shit? No, I didn't see that. Chem Goblin, put that in the Discord. I'll do it tomorrow. So wow, shocking footage, and there it is. Whoa, dog! Whoa! That's a big ass boom. So is that boat sunk? Did that fucking boat? That'll sink a boat, dude? Iran-backed militia launched an explosive-laden drone boat into a British oil tanker, and it's like an XL Valdez every time they do this. Near the side, which damaged its port side tank and covered it in clouds of smoke. So they didn't sink it. It isn't sunk yet, at least. Sometimes it takes a little bit to sink them.
وسلاح الجو المسير في القوات المسلحة اليمنية 3 عمليات عسكرية الأولى استهدفت سفينة كورديليامون النفطية البريطانية. This motherfucker's in way over his head, dude. This guy's in way over his head. في البحر الأحمر. This cannot stand. Yeah. 8 ballistic and cruise missiles, a drone, and an unmanned boat. Severe damage to the ship, thanks to Allah. Yeah. So what's really interesting to me about this whole situation is that, you know, people who have been studying the Middle East have, you know, talked about these different scenarios, you know, like, oh, well, the Iranians, you know, they have the Strait of Hormuz and they have all these missiles and pointed at Israel, and, you know, they're ready to go. Like, you know, it's a ticking time bomb, but, you know, the Middle East is going to surprise you. The Middle East is going to surprise you. So far, the Middle East isn't really surprising anybody. It's some piddly ass bullshit. And, you know, like, these little sons of bitches here, you know, in his cute little outfit here is going to get a lot of people fucking killed, man. You're poking a tiger. You're poking a tiger, and let me tell you, Western democracies don't give a shit about brown Arab people.
You know, I'm just speaking the truth here. I care about brown Arab people. I have all kinds of problems with the military-industrial complex and how it handles things. The military-industrial complex of the United States, assisted by the UK, doesn't give a shit. They'll blow your ass up, man. They'll blow your whole fucking shit up. Everything. I bet Bibi is like, yeah, let me go in there. I don't know. Who knows? But all of this is just justification for these international powers that are all too happy to fuck your shit up. It's just going to get a lot of people killed. I'm not saying you shouldn't resist. You know, the whole kidnapping, you know, the taking of, you know, as long as no one dies and you're just taking a physical ship and saying, you know, we're doing this for Palestine, like that's something, right? That's, you know, it's definitely, it would probably still be considered terrorism, but no one's dying, you know, you're doing it for a purpose, et cetera, et cetera. You're just blowing up. You're making, you know, you're getting people killed and blowing people up, cruise missiles and fucking drones. This isn't even piracy. A pirate would look at this and go, this is sloppy ass work. How the hell am I supposed to sell oil that's all over the fucking ocean? This isn't even piracy. This is just stupid terrorism. Anyway, that's my comments on the situation. The Houthis need to stop this, and guys like this are going to get a lot of people killed. The international community can absolutely kill 500,000 Houthis in Yemen before anyone even, you know, anyone outside of Amy Goodman even talks about it. All right, moving on to the next story here. Got to keep it snappy. I think this woman is dumb. I think this woman is has a mental health, you know, like she's dumb. I think she's a dumb person. Talking about, of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene here. So she was responding. I think what's happening here in this image is that she was trying to make a point about taxation, making the point that, well, how many taxes did people in the Ice Age pay? Basically saying, well, people in the Ice Age were able to get by just fine without theft, without this system of theft called taxation, right? I think she's so fucking smart. It's like, you're going to need 40 minutes just to respond to the fact that how different the situation was in the Ice Age. You know, it's such a dumb statement. Right? It's like, whoa. Well, I mean, you don't actually mean that, right? You're like, it makes you want to look around for like, does she have like some kind of like medical staff that monitors this woman? Welcome back to the big room. Nice, perfectly timed with those emojis. I gotta fix that, get that back on the screen. We know when America was great. We now know when America was great. Exactly, the Ice Age. Nice one. That's clever, Ponder Monkey. You're a clever guy. Should ask Chuck Grassley. He was alive then. Whoa, you guys are killing it. Whoa. 2 in a row. So this is a pretty good burn by this person on Twitter who, for some goddamn reason, they think it's wise to give Elon Musk money. Marge should know how much they paid since she was born in that era. Get 'em! Never required hunters to share their skills. Yeah, exactly. Female eunuchs. Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't any kind of barter happening. It was just libertarianism. Everyone was their own individual, doing everything on their own. Supermen and women. Yeah, I know the photo comparison. Yeah, woke patriot. She's so smart. She's so clever, right? I think she's mentally ill. I think she has a medical problem. She's still a lawmaker. She's still a lawmaker. And she's doing everything she can to, these fake investigations, these fake impeachments, trying to make sure the budget is not passed. So, no, she's still a danger to democracy. Anyway, moving on. Just wanted to point that out. I think that woman is mentally ill. Okay, so we got to get to the hurricane stuff here because the hurricane, people are going to die tomorrow. People are going to die tomorrow. They're saying if you are not glory to Helene and Milton. Glory. Why would you say that, Yeager? There's like over 200 people drowned. Their lungs are filled with fucking mud and sand. Surely, come on, Yeager. What the fuck are you talking about? Glory? What? Come on, man. I don't mean to call you out like that, but what the fuck are we doing here? I'm waiting for an explanation to that insane statement that I just read in my chat, and I'm getting nothing. You took the words out of my mouth. That's what I said. Wow. Okay. All right. I don't know. If I were to say glory to the forest fire that is burning the homes, would you assume that I am sad for people? It was a synchronicity moment. Okay. Okay. You're fine. I got a hair trigger, boy. I got a hair fucking trigger. Okay. But no, serious shit here. It's like the moment I try to get serious, that's when the chat gets the most ridiculous. I don't know what it is. It's a phenomenon. But no, serious business. People are going to fucking die tomorrow. Florida is saying if you're not out of your home by 7 a.m., 7 o'clock in the morning, you are going to be stuck. We will not be able to rescue you. The storm surge, they're predicting the storm surge, which is the swell of water that surprises people, right? They're like, I've lived here my whole life and I've never been ankle deep in water in my own kitchen. What's happening? And then the water starts rising and rising, getting up even higher. Then their house lifts up and starts going down. And they're inside it. They're inside the goddamn house. Right? Because it's never happened to them before. So that storm surge is predicted to be unbelievable. It's this hurricane. It's historic on multiple levels. I got lots of links to prove it. So this is serious business. This is serious, big time. If you live in Florida, if you have friends and family in Florida, if you know anybody that's like, I'm going to wait it out. Tell them, for the love of God, get the hell out of there. It's so important they got Tapper Jake reporting on the fucking weather. Okay? He's probably telling, I don't get paid enough for this shit. I only get paid $1.7 million every minute I'm on TV. I don't get paid enough to do the weather. I should be groping some intern by now. What the hell am I doing over here? Yeah, I'm just making up lies about Tapper Jake. Yeah, what are you going to do about it? Sue me? Please don't sue me. I'm sorry. I take it back. I did. Tapper Jake's a respected man, news journalist man. Puked a little bit saying that.
Breaking news, a brand new forecast just in moments ago for Hurricane Milton, which is heading right towards Florida.
Leon, we got people. A hurricane just happened. A hurricane just happened, Leon, and we got people who were like scooping out mud, and they're like, I'm not leaving. Okay? A hurricane just slapped these people, and they're like, oh, I ain't going, dog. No, you're not going to take my house, Antifa. I don't even know why.
An extremely dangerous Category 5 hurricane. Today, Milton became the strongest storm anywhere on the planet this year. Meteorologist Chad Myers is in CNN's hurricane headquarters. Chad, where is Milton set to make landfall?
This is 23 minutes long. Will they mention climate change? Will they mention climate change even once?
And what is your best assessment as to when?
Wow, two super powerful hurricanes. One
the
ran
models
the
are
other.
really in very good agreement. And it's very, very close to what we would call the clear water area, anywhere from just north, let's call it, I don't want to call it Dunedin, but Pinellas County, maybe as far south as Anna Maria Island. But here's what happened at this hour. The 5 o'clock advisory is now in up to 180 miles per hour. Now, there is a Hurricane Hunter aircraft.
So that's the kind of weather that churns this object, this empty soda can, into a deadly object that will sever the top of your scalp. Okay? Nails get pulled out of boards and then become projectiles, right? You know, after these kind of weather events, you'll see, you know, regular household objects stuck into trees. Okay?
On the way to make sure.
Deadly.
But it was 175 when they last left, and the storm hasn't lost any intensity. And in fact, it's forecast, Jake, to get to 185 after midnight tonight. And then make landfall either as a Category 4 or a Category 3 very close to Tampa. When Helene hit the area, I know it went north of there, but the surge in Tampa Bay was 6 to 7 feet. The forecast surge in Tampa itself is now 10 to 15 feet.
So it was 7 feet last hurricane, a couple days ago. 7 feet. They're predicting 10 or 15. Okay? Feet. I am 6 feet tall. So we're talking about getting high, touching my second floor of my townhouse here. And let me tell you, anything underneath that, I don't care how strong your cement foundation is.
So I talked to a guy today that said, hey man, I had 6 feet of water in my house. And I went, ugh, that's not good, because 6 is now going to be 10 or 15. So that house may not be there anymore. Dude, this is really, really a deadly storm that people are going to need to get away. If your local county emergency manager says you need to evacuate, now is the time. Unlike the storm that kind of, Ian, that kind of turned into Fort Myers, we have time this time. You have time to find some place to shelter. And it is going to be obviously for the record books, but we've never had a stronger storm, obviously, in the Gulf of Mexico in the past couple of decades. The last storm to make landfall close to Tampa was 102 years ago. The last major hurricane didn't have a name, but that was 1921.
Right, climate change,
This is a devastating event. People need to take precautions. You need to tell your relatives, hey, Uncle Joe, you need to get out of there. They told you to leave. It's time. You have to go somewhere. You don't have to go to North Carolina. You have to go somewhere.
You should go somewhere and maybe watch The Inconvenient Truth, right? No, we're not doing that. No. Oh, okay. No. Too much, right? I'm rubbing it in. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm rubbing it in.
Away from that surge, away from that water, Jake.
All right, Chad Myers, thank you so much.
The race to get ready comes as many areas in the storm's path are still reeling from Hurricane Helene. CNN's Brian Todd is on the story.
All right, Brian Todd's on the story.
In Pinellas Park, Florida, just across the bay from Tampa, residents use large pails to fill as many sandbags as they can. Hurricane Milton, which has already exploded into a Category 5 storm, could hit the Tampa Bay area directly. It would be the first major hurricane to strike within 50 miles of Tampa in more than 100 years.
Keep praying.
Some residents in at least 6 counties told to evacuate. In Hillsborough County, the evacuation order is mandatory in some places. That means authorities cannot force people from their homes. But
if you remain there, you could die. My men and women could die trying to rescue you.
What makes this especially dangerous in places
you're not gonna gish gallop the hurricane, okay? Because we know we know it's conservatives that are sticking around. Ain't nobody voting for Obama sticking around, okay? I'm sorry. Am I wrong? What do you want me to do? Drive around in a powerboat doing a political poll? You know I'm not wrong. The people sticking around are Trump voters. Come on. There is one clip I have. The guy definitely has a Trump flag. We all know. Nice shirt, by the way. Metal Gear. Yeah, prayer ain't going to do anything. Just be prepared to die by the sword, Floridians. But hey, you know, don't worry. If you survive, though, Ron DeSantis has your back. Okay, don't you worry. Ron DeSantis is going to make sure that you are made whole. You know, that the insurance companies aren't bending you over like, you know, like that scene in Metal Gear Solid 4 where Solid Snake gets back into Metal Gear Rex and kicks the fucking ass of Metal Gear Ray. It was only designed to defeat Metal Gear Rex, except Otacon upgraded the software in 5 fucking seconds, and all of a sudden Metal Gear Rex was a force to be reckoned with. What are we talking about? I want to play some Metal Gear Solid, dog.
Like Tampa and Fort Myers,
you're right,
is that
Jaeger.
those cities
You're
are still
right.
recovering from Hurricane Helene.
I wonder who they vote for, guys. Who do they vote for? Who could it be?
China? Bing, bing, bong, bong.
Who
bing,
could
bing,
it
bing.
be?
Which has killed more than 230 people in 6 states, with the death toll
I got
still
it right
rising
behind me.
for those in the mandatory evacuation zones who decide to.
Yeah, Ray was designed to be better than Rex in every way. To because the plans for Metal Gear Rex had been disseminated across the world. So there was a bunch of third world countries that were busy building their own versions of Rex. So Ray was designed to be the counter to Rex, and it fucking sucked. Fuck you, Metal Gear Ray. It's a pretty cool design. Metal Gear Solid 2 is pretty fucking awesome. Okay, what am I talking about?
To stay put, Florida officials have a dire warning.
You probably need to write your name and permanent marker on your arm.
Yeah.
So that people know who you are when they get to you afterwards. And we are still seeing, as we're uncovering folks on the beach,
they have thoughts and
who
prayers.
thought they could stay there, and the storm surge got them.
Yeah. With Milton forecast to make landfall late Wednesday, Governor Ron DeSantis warns the window for evacuation is closing fast.
Right.
You have time to execute your plan, but you got to do it now. Time is going to start running out very, very soon.
Helene made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane that caused widespread damage, leaving tons of debris that still hasn't been cleared. Debris that residents worry could still harm people if it starts flying around when Milton hits.
The debris on the beach and whatever's going on is a little cause for concern because there is not enough time and not enough manpower to take everything and put it where it needs to be off the island.
The international airports in Tampa and Orlando closing ahead of the storm. Tolls are being suspended on major highways throughout western and central Florida to help those evacuating. Governor DeSantis says the assets that Florida lent to North Carolina for Hurricane Helene have had to be brought back to Florida. But North Carolina is still dealing with the horrific aftermath of Helene. More than 100,000 customers are still without power there. And around Asheville, dozens of people are still missing a week and a half after Helene tore through the area.
It's all coming right back. Reach communities. All this cleanup, and this son of a bitch here, this fucking governor, I recognize this guy, absolute Republican piece of shit. Exactly the problem. Who's gonna fuck over Floridians, right? Because you know what's gonna happen. Just like Hurricane Katrina, the buddies, the rich buddies of these guys are gonna come in, buy up all these neighborhoods. Maybe not though. Maybe not though. Right? It's like, well, why would I? Is this an investment that I actually want to make? A house that's gonna get blown down next hurricane season. But they're gonna try. They're gonna try. They're gonna let prospectors, go house to house. Oh, here's a check for $100,000. Well, my house is worth $500,000. Your house ain't worth shit, and neither is the land that's on it. I'm giving you $100,000 now, and you'll never get a better deal. In 5 years, you won't get a better deal. I'm desperate. I don't have any money. You're taking advantage of me. Yeah, I don't give a shit. That's what's going to be happening in Florida. There's this guy who has, the friends of this guy, oligarchs, moneyed elite, they're licking their chops at all the, oh, wow, look at all that cheap property I can buy now.
We still have search and rescue occurring as we speak. He's the governor.
And we have this information.
Hold on, let me get his name because I keep calling him this guy. Hold on.
Tore through the area.
We're still working to reach communities. We still have search.
He's the North Carolinian governor. He's the governor for North Carolina. I recognize this guy. Hold on. Let's make sure I'm not slandering somebody. But I recognize him. Yeah, Republican criticism, hurricane response, demoralized. Okay, well, this guy's calling out. He says it's demoralizing. Disinformation. But yeah, so Roy Cooper. Okay, he's a Democrat. Okay, I'm glad I looked him up. Okay. That doesn't mean he's innocent. Okay. Roy Cooper, I've heard that name before. I definitely recognize him. I think he's a blue dog Democrat. I think he's one of those conservative Democrats. I've definitely heard his name come up before. Okay. But he's not a right-wing conservative fascist, so big difference. I'm glad I looked him up.
Rescue occurring as we speak.
And we have this information.
Don't think for a second that neoliberals don't hobnob with oligarchs that take advantage of situations like Katrina. It wasn't, isn't New Orleans run by a liberal government? And that was a thank you stickers. Yeah, we looked it up, as you saw. But anyway.
And video just into CNN. Hurricane Hunters has posted their latest video on X. This is video from the plane, the Hurricane Hunter flying through the eye of Hurricane Milton as it approaches the west coast of Florida. You can see the clouds swirling there. This is, of course, these Hurricane Hunter planes gather critical information. They're going to be gathering critical information in the next 48 hours before the storm makes landfall on the west coast of Florida. This is information that is going to be very critical in informing us as to when and where this is going to hit. Wolf, this video we're seeing for the first time. And the Hurricane Center says those pilots even spotted birds within the eye of the hurricane.
Vice President Harris is speaking now about Hurricane Milton, and she departs for New York. Let's listen in.
I know a lot of folks out there have survived these hurricanes before. This one is going to be very, very serious. And I urge you to please just grab whatever you need. Listen to the orders you're getting from your local officials. They know what they're telling you, and they know what Milton is about to.
There are people who are going to stay because they heard Kamala telling them not to leave, right? To go. There are people that are going to stay. Oh, the damn Democrats telling me to go. I ain't doing nothing.
So please.
I mean, Kamala W. This the bar is so low. It's the easiest thing in the world to go hurricane bad. Get out of there. Save yourself. But the bar is so low, we can't even expect our politicians to say the bare minimum anymore.
Do that. The other point I'd make is that there's a lot of mis and disinformation being pushed out there by the former president about what is available, in particular to the survivors of
Glenn's just calling him out.
And first of all, it's extraordinarily irresponsible. It's about him. It's not about you. And the reality is that FEMA has so many resources that are available to folks who desperately need them now, and resources that are about helping people get back on their feet and rebuild and have places to go. You are entitled to these resources. People are entitled to these resources, and it is critically important that people apply for the help that is there to support.
Ponder Monkey, the obvious solution is to get as many, Kamala Harris signs as you can and fill your yard with it, and then put up a sign that says, if you support Kamala, go ahead and take one free. That gets people excited. Kamala signs are apparently hard to get in some places.
That all of those resources.
A lot of patriots are angry at Kamala right now. Oh yeah, why is that? And what is so patriotic about supporting an orange fascist who wants to implement a program called Project 2025 that would literally gut our federal government and replace it with politically aligned sycophants? How is that in any way patriotic? It's literally the destruction of our country. ICBM party. Yeah. Right. Answer the question. How the fuck is it patriotic to support an orange fascist who is literally promising to destroy this country and its democratic norms?
Were created for just these kinds of moments.
Yeah, there it is. Suck my dick, you piece of shit. Enjoy the ban list. You absolutely disgust me. You absolutely fucking disgust me. These fucking people. Oh, patriots across the nation are mad. That's what I was told to say by my favorite right-wing talking head. My favorite right-wing talking head said patriots across the nation are really disappointed with Kamala Harris. Okay, you fucking robot.
In an emergency situation, knowing that folks are entitled to have the relief that they so rightly need at this moment in time. So listen to your sheriffs around the places that have been impacted by Helene. Listen to your local sheriff who's going to tell you straight about what's available to you and how, for so many reasons and ways.
Look, you're either going or you're not. Okay, they're asking her a question. What's the question?
NBC is reporting Governor DeSantis is ignoring your calls.
Oh yeah. So we do need to talk about this. Governor DeSantis. I do have it queued up, the article. But yeah, Governor DeSantis is apparently ignoring her calls. You know, FEMA. It's so funny to me, talking about Alex Jones here. But I know I'm saying that a lot. I got to find a better phrase for it's so funny to me. But no, it's interesting to me because we were just talking about Alex Jones, and he's the one that kind of started this whole, FEMA death camps, and you got to watch out for FEMA, and FEMA's going to get you, FEMA's going to get you. All lies, total lies. A complete fabrication. FEMA setting up coffins for all the bodies, or once they ban guns, they're going to get you and put you in a FEMA camp, right? All because he saw an image of some tents being set up after Hurricane Katrina or something, right? So all this fear mongering, so Alex Jones could have a profitable quarter. This Katrina rhetoric is really, really bringing in the viewers. People are really, really excited, buying my products over here, talking about the FEMA camps. We got to keep talking about the FEMA camps. People really like that. So this motherfucker's grifting operation has done untold damage. So, we have people who desperately need help, but a Republican politician finds it politically beneficial to talk shit about an institution that is desperately needed in his state. But he's doing a political calculation. He's like, well, there's a certain level of shit that if I shit on FEMA in a certain amount, I can benefit from FEMA helping my people, but I could also get votes from people who think FEMA is a fucking, run by vampires who want to suck your blood or whatever the hell, right? I can kind of play both sides here if I do it this way. It's unbelievable. The damage that certain liars and grifters, and I talk about this with Joe Rogan and ivermectin. How many fucking people did Joe Rogan get killed? Let's honestly ask ourselves, with his ignorance. Oh, you want to just throw him a bone and say it wasn't intentional? Okay. His stone cold ignorance, telling people to take a fucking horse medicine for a goddamn deadly disease. How many right-wingers listened to that shit, bought a tube of ivermectin, and then a couple days later was on a fucking ventilator saying their last words? How many? Certainly more than one. Actions have consequences, words have consequences, and these grifters don't operate in a fucking vacuum. They are hurting us. They are hurting our democracy. They're hurting our liberty.
Governor DeSantis, NBC is reporting Governor DeSantis is ignoring your calls on hurricanes, resources, and help. How does that hurt the situation here?
Moments of crisis, if nothing else, should really be the moment that anyone who calls themselves a leader says they're going to put politics aside and put the people first.
Go a little harder.
People are in desperate need of support right now.
Go a little harder.
Playing political games with this moment in these crisis situations. These are the height of emergency situations. It's just utterly irresponsible, and it is selfish. It is about political games.
The audio is mixed so perfectly, it almost sounds like he's in the crowd.
Instead of doing the job that you take an oath to do, which is to put the people first.
Madam Vice President, Milton's arrival, what does it mean for resources?
Politics aside, perfect time to stick a dagger into the heart of Ron DeSantis and all of his lies, and she tiptoes around it. And decorum, respectful and honorable Ron DeSantis. I do not want to smear his name. They'll never learn. They'll literally never learn. They are facing existential destruction against a fascist regime, and they're still bipartisan tiptoeing. If the progressive, socially democratically leaning individuals in the United States, and there are tens of millions, if they do not stand up and force this neoliberal party to bend the knee and actually have a spine, have some liberal values and principles, and defend them when they get in office instead of running to the right like Bill Clinton did, and every other democratic status quo neoliberal sense. They don't realize. I mean, look at this. Razor's Edge, 50-50. And she's still tiptoeing. We got Ron DeSantis playing fucking games with FEMA, literally playing games with people's lives. And she's like, oh, that's unfortunate. Geez, golly. At this stage, it's pathetic. It shows a lack of leadership. It shows it's a kind of cowardice, really, to still be bipartisanship, still be reaching across the aisle.
All right, Vice President Harris speaking on the tarmac at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland. Back with our breaking news about Hurricane Milton.
Okay. Do I have to do this? Okay, so they talked to FEMA. Then they talk to Aaron Burnett, talks to a storm chaser. Okay, doesn't show any really great, awesome storm chasing footage. Okay, moving on. This is a clip that I've never seen before. So this is a meteorologist who is looking at the hard data and trying to get this information out to people as quickly as possible so that they can make appropriate decisions. And he just starts to break down because he realizes not only is this going to be just as damaging as Helene, it very likely will be more damaging. And, him understanding the science, him understanding that, that this is going to result, if Helene resulted in over 200 deaths, who knows how many people are going to get killed with Milton. And he kind of breaks down a little bit.
It's just an incredible.
Let me just get this on YouTube so I can go full screen.
It has dropped. It has dropped 50 millibars in 10 hours.
Wow. So I'm just going to, the volume was a little low, so I'm just going to turn it up.
It's just an incredible
video.
hurricane. It has dropped. It has dropped 50 millibars in 10 hours. I apologize. This is just horrific. Maximum sustained winds are 160 miles per hour, and it is just gaining strength in the Gulf of Mexico, where you can imagine the winds. I mean, the seas are just so incredibly hot. Record hot, as you might imagine. You know what's driving that. I don't need to tell you. Global warming, climate change, leading to this and becoming an increasing threat.
Oh God, that is super loud. Oh, that is super loud. Sorry. Fuck. I'm sorry. I forget when I have to turn up really low. Okay, I can't use my soundboard when I have to. Okay, I'm so sorry. I just blasted you with Obama and the fucking air horn. I'm so sorry.
For the Yucatan.
Discord banned in Russia? Yo! That has to have something to do with the recruitment that they're going to have to be doing, because there's going to be resistance to it, and Discord is a great way to do it. I don't know why more activist groups don't use video game MMORPGs and like Toontown and other kind of social video game social spaces for their organizing. Some of these games like War, what is it? War. No, not Warhammer, obviously. What is it? The one with the suits. You're wearing. It's a Tenno. You're running around as a Tenno. But anyway, that game has an incredibly robust Warframe. Thank you. That game has an incredibly robust, communication system. You know what I mean? So, hey, activist movements, like don't give up. If they kick out, Discord's an extremely useful tool. I'm not going to deny that it would slow me down personally, of course, but look into certain video. Eve Online has has an internal email system, instant messaging system, all internal within the game. So. Watch this clip of some before and after aerial pics. Okay, we can do that. iPlatinum, welcome back. Let's go ahead and finish this clip up.
Including Mérida and Progreso and other areas there. Let's see if I can show you.
All right, so this is actually old data, so there's really not much point in showing you. I just wanted to show you the emotional nature of the. You don't often see meteorologists getting real like that. So wow, 1 minute here, social media style video, vertical video, because we've lost the battle, guys. It's vertical is one. But yeah, some before and after stuff here. So here we have the before. Looks like a kind of a crappy little resort, quite frankly. And wow, it literally was completely wiped out. Utter devastation. Wow. Completely gone. Once again, okay, so there's remnants. Wow. No way. So that is totally wild. That is totally wild there. And you can kind of see in the before, you can kind of see where the water, it's dry. It's dry. It's not even, it's like it's seasonal. It's probably seasonal. There's a bridge right here, so it's seasonal. But rips it up. The bridge has been disconnected. Jesus. And look, it's absolutely the cherry on top of the shit sundae is what Ron DeSantis is allowing the insurance companies to get away with. So if you have no insurance, Ron DeSantis, you're fucked. Ron DeSantis isn't going to help you rebuild your house. Maybe you'll get a coupon. Maybe you'll get a couple $100. Maybe, right? Maybe. If Ron DeSantis does give you money for this, he's going to tax it. Okay, that's how shitty the situation is going to be for you in Florida. Here's some fucking bootstraps. Welcome to your new libertarian hellscape. You either have the money and the means or you don't. Welcome to homelessness. This is the Republican way. Hey, welcome from Brazil, the land of the beautiful big booty. My God, the booty in Brazil. My God. I gotta go. Yeah, before and after. Welcome back, Zeodu. No, the finest booties on the planet are currently sitting in this chat. So, welcome back, Ford the Perfect. And anybody else, if I missed you, welcome back. Yeah, and if you are the jackass on the left, that's like, oh well, you voted for Trump and you deny climate change and you deserve this. That's not the way to do this. That's not the way to call that shit out. Okay, you have to have empathy. It's okay. You can point out that climate change is absolutely affecting this, and that denying climate change, denying the reality of climate change, doesn't do any good. One of the most strongest arguments I can give people is that if you want to know how I know climate change is real, it's because insurance companies certainly fucking acknowledge that it's real. Okay, and that's the problem that they're having in Florida. There's insurance companies are running away from Florida because and then two hurricanes after another. We're going to see even more insurance companies getting the hell out of there. And Ron DeSantis, Mr. Libertarian Ron DeSantis, Mr. Anarcho-capitalist Ron DeSantis, he wouldn't fathom starting a Florida insurance company, right? Well, if the private sector isn't going to cover these people because they can't make profit, well, I guess we're going to have to do some kind of socialist system that isn't concerned with profit so that Floridians can be protected in case of a disaster that is incredibly likely. It's not an if, it's a when. You're lucky to get 5 or 10 years without a major disaster. It's probably going to be every year. because of climate change. So is Ron DeSantis going to do the socialist thing that is exactly what is needed? No. He's got his politics wouldn't let him do it. His donors and then the voters themselves that would benefit from a Florida state-run insurance. Would be like, no, you're going to take money out of my pocket to put it to some insurance company to give it to some gay liberal? I don't think so. Taxation is theft, Ron. Like literally standing in waist-deep water in what was once his living room. Taxation is theft, Ron. I don't think so, Ron. Right? As the water gets higher and higher, blah, 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 blah. I don't think so, Ron. That's what we're dealing with. That's the level of stupidity that we're dealing with. So as covered by the other video, Ron DeSantis refusing to take Harris's call on Hurricane Helene. Like I said, it's a fucking game. And you can thank Alex Jones for starting this whole FEMA is bad. I mean, what's next? What's next, Republicans? You going to tell us taking aspirin for our headaches is bad, huh? You going to tell us taking Tums if we got a rumbly tummy? That's bad. That's part of the liberal elite. Are Tums turning me gay, Republicans? My God, how much suffering do you have to spread around like spoiled fucking Nutella? How much of your bile do you have to share with the world before you realize you're fucking miserable and all you want to do is drag the rest of us down in there with you? Right? Oh, we can't have nice things. Nice things are liberal. Yeah, exactly. I'm just so tired of it. I'm utterly fatigued by these people. Their unbelievable capacity for hate is exhausting. So it's, the lies don't stop, the politics don't stop, the grifting never stops. So here's a representative in Florida, trying to defend Ron DeSantis. Listen to this. We have a Category 5 hurricane headed to Pinellas, and Kamala Harris is taking this time to attack Governor Ron DeSantis. Attack. Is that what we saw on the tarmac there? Was that an attack? Was that an attack? Hey, Ron DeSantis is he's not taking your calls. He's playing politics with this. What do you have to say? Oh, gee, well, that's unfortunate, and maybe that's kind of bad. And anyway, you should probably not do that. That's an attack. That's an attack. Cut the crap. We need FEMA dollars freed up. All assets, stop attacking Ron and do your job, which is exactly what they're doing, by the way. But then this person here, Art Candy, who is once again paying Elon Musk. What the fuck are we doing, folks? Fuck your Twitter engagement. Stop giving Elon Musk your money. Make it a point to not pay for this shit. But it's true. If you don't have the blue check, you have less engagement. That's the fucking system that he's built. So why are we still here? Because the whole world is still using Twitter, dog. There's all kinds of new shit happening. There's all kinds of new game devs. People are just still using this shit. Anyway, but she makes a great point. You voted against FEMA funding the day before the hurricane hit. Sit all the way down. Blue Sky is objectively not as good as Twitter yet. I don't know. It just sucks. It sucks. Sucks, but we got to do it. We got to switch over to Blue Sky. We got to switch over to Mastodon. We got to get away from this fucking trash hell site. And we certainly got to stop giving Elon Musk $5 a month for the privilege of being there. But she makes a good point. This fucking woman voted the day before. So that means the news is literally blaring. Hurricane, massive hurricane. You're in big trouble, Florida. You're in big trouble. It's all over the TV. And she's voting against FEMA funding. Oh, well, the political, there's going to be a political ad used against me by Republican opponent who wants to take me over. The Republican is going to say, well, on this day, Represent Anna Paulina Luna voted for FEMA funding. She voted for the FEMA coffins that they're going to stick your family in after they turn them gay and suck all the blood out. And it works. It works. Anna did that. She voted against that funding, seeing on the news that a hurricane is on the way, because it works. It will work. The Republican opponent might win. Oh, did you hear? Oh, did you hear? Anna voted for FEMA. Anna voted to have FEMA, come in and confiscate you. FEMA's going to target all the Republicans, take your guns away. Anna voted for that. It works. So I wanted to show a little bit of this guy's video because he's doing some clearly he's one of these storm chasing influencers. I don't know. We live in a hell world, okay? I think this is more close to citizen journalism than it is opportunism, but man, that is a fine line, isn't it? That is a fine fucking line. But he's got some great interviews. He's got some great footage. Ignore all the social media fucking crap, how it's framed. Ignore all that. Lee Spanner, is your daughter okay? Is she getting out of there? But no, I don't think this guy is doing it exclusively for the money or the attention. We can't deny, that that's part of the game. If I was out there in the street, it would be about engagement. So I want to get out on the street. I want to do more citizen journalism. So I don't want jackasses like me judging these people. But I just need to point. I don't know what it is. Why does this feel so dirty? I don't know. He's getting the story out there. He's interviewing people that Jake Tapper is ignoring. This is exactly what I want. I don't know. What is my problem here? Is it just literally the liberal desire to hate everything, to not have nice things? Do I want to just call this guy a Nazi and then go to my Tumblr blog? Is that what I want to do? I don't know. Yeah, so bulletproof. I'm hearing. I've heard that a little bit. I'm kind of hearing conflicting reports that some are saying that by the time it actually hits shore tomorrow, it's going to be a Category 3. But I'm also hearing them saying they're estimating storm surge is going to be high as 10 feet, which is higher than it was with Milton. So
stressful, potentially dangerous situation unfolding here in the Tampa Bay area.
The Haters Club sucks, but it's fun. It is.
Slice of the mass amount of people trying to evacuate out of the Tampa Bay area. All of the arterial roads, the interstates, the main highways out of Tampa Bay are jam-packed as people are fleeing. They're trying to escape the path of Hurricane Milton. And they're coming across.
The Haters Club sketch. Dave Chappelle is a piece of shit, but his early work, that Haters Club speech, that Haters Club sketch
from hurricane force-driven rain. They also even have the nozzles zip tied to the machine so they don't flop around in the winds.
Yeah, the Haters ball.
These are wrapped a day and a half before likely any impacts from Hurricane Milton that will be felt here in St. Petersburg, because the folks here at the gas station.
Yeah, Israel, exactly.
Say that they don't expect any more gas being delivered here ahead of the hurricane.
I'll leave at 2:30 in the morning. I'll leave at 2:33 in the morning because all this will kind of die down, but we don't have diesel. So every time I come down here, we already kind of know because we do so much cat work. I normally travel with at least 20 gallons. I brought this from Atlanta. I didn't just try to hoard gas. Yeah. So we always come down with at least enough diesel to get back home, or at least to get back over the line, no matter where it is.
Among the masses moving out, the contractors who rushed in to help rebuild after Hurricane Helene.
A total mess. Can't believe I'm showing it to you. Normally it's really organized.
Are packing up too. When they return, they'll face an even bigger mess.
Just go ahead and evacuate to something higher above sea level. It's the best thing that you can do right now.
Same nightmare, new storm. Milton's bearing down, forcing millions to ask themselves the ultimate question: stay or go? It's not as obvious as you might expect.
No, I would.
These guys are so Florida, it hurts. They're floating on a boat. They're so Floridian. You know what I mean? They're so Floridian. They bleed orange juice.
I'd rather be with my boat than not with it, because if I'm not here, I don't know what's going to happen to it.
Just real good
but
tip.
If I'm here, I mean, I know I'll survive. Boat goes down, I can swim. But I'm not going to go somewhere else and leave the boat here, because this is everything I own right now. I mean, I can't afford to give it up. Social Security cut my Social Security check off in June, said I'm no longer disabled. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, hey, great job. I guarantee you that has something to do with Ron DeSantis. But this is once again what it looks like in the right wing world. Hey guys, he's no longer disabled. Means tested into oblivion. Means tested into oblivion, right? They say it doesn't work, then they get in charge, and then they break it. And they go, oh, see? And here's the problem. You can't replace that with a private, there's no private industry. There's no way to make money off this guy's disability anymore. You know? He needs money. He needs a nonprofit situation to help him out. Well, that doesn't vibe very well with Ron DeSantis. I guarantee you this has something to do with Ron DeSantis, him getting cut off from his Social Security. I guarantee you.
What that means. So they cut my check off, and now I have no income. So if I lose this boat, then I'm back on the street again, and I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, well,
Jay already refused to abandon ship during Hurricane Helene.
How high did the water get during Helene?
It got to about an inch below the top of the pillar, or the pylon right there.
What was that experience like?
I slept through it.
He's even become sort of a local social media celebrity, with people coming to check in on him. A strange kind of fame, but people do care.
Are you concerned for Jay?
I mean, yeah, I come and check on him every day and brought him a bunch of clothes and food and stuff, water. But I mean, he doesn't want to leave his boat, which I understand. I've tried to like help him get the hotel and stuff. And I started GoFundMe on TikTok that got like $7,000, which I'm gonna be giving him the money soon. Once it transfers in. But
okay, you better give him that fucking money, buddy. You better, because you know what? I'm not gonna say shit about you, but you better be giving him that fucking money. I will be following up. Slick. You better get every penny. But if it's all above board, if this guy's talking, if this guy's being real, good on you, sir. We all know who he's voting for, if he's even going to show up to vote. We're going to go ahead and put that aside and say thank you, but that money better show up. That money better show up. How many times have we seen it? How many times, right? The money starts rolling in. Whoa, dude, this is like $50,000. Oh, this is like $100,000. Oh, dude, I don't know. Maybe I can get a little bit of it for myself. Give him the money, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to help him, like, get to him a safe place. He just doesn't really want to do that, so.
It seems like his heart's in the right place.
You got it pretty well organized, actually.
That's not a mess. You kidding me? This is about as organized as you're going to get. Oh, he's got some tobacco there. He's not even. Is he even smoking weed? Homie's not even smoking weed in there. This shit would look like a Rastafarian lived in there if it was me. Just like a big old fucking bong right there.
Organization is my thing.
A lot better than me.
Is that it? Is that the drug kit? Are we looking at the drug kit right there? Kind of looks like a drug kit. Looks like an injection kit to me. It kind of looks like it. No, you know what? No, I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong. No, I'm totally wrong. It's like fishing. It's fishing stuff. I can't really. It's fishing stuff. It's fishing stuff. It's not a drug kit. It's fishing stuff.
No.
But who cares, dude? Who cares? Look, bro, you don't have a fucking leg. You don't have a leg. You live in a boat. You live in a boat? Yeah, you do crack. You know, do that shit, dude. You know, what are we going to judge this guy? Fleshlight case.
A lot better than me. And so this is where you'll, like, camp out some food. You have supplies here.
I sit here, I sleep here, and everything on that side. I got my stove there. I have a box cooler that I have my food.
And Republicans would say, "Oh, this man's a leech. This man's a barnacle, right? This man's just using. He's not contributing." And what they don't have the balls to say though is that they're okay with him, dying penniless in the streets. People spitting on him as they walk by, right? That's the society that they want. They don't want a moral society where, maybe at one time this guy was able to contribute, maybe, and he did, but. What does that say about us as a society where we can get to the moon, we can blow up a peasant in the mountains with a bunker buster that costs us $1 million. We can do all these amazing things, but we don't have the means to to let some of the weakest or disenfranchised or those that don't have the ability to fully or completely take care of themselves, or maybe they're just not as productive. That's just the fate of some human beings. So we have to make that moral decision, and the Republicans clearly say no, we're okay with this guy dying, we're okay with people dying in the gutter. And liberals say, no, we're not okay with that. Liberals clearly have a, we don't have all the answers on how to fix all these problems, but we do know what we don't want to see, which is, guys like this, dying penniless in the streets, right? They should have the ability to have some meager means, a humble roof over their head, a warm meal in their belly. Okay, meager, humble means that it's not asking for much, and it says a lot about your society. It says a lot about your culture if you're taking care of people that have a hard time taking care of themselves, one way or the other, one reason or another.
I got a regular cooler for cold stuff right there, and up in the front where it's too shallow to actually go in there, I use that for storage for my clothes and whatnot.
Government desk job. This guy, government desk job, huh? Okay, dog.
Where it's too shallow to actually go in there, I use that for storage for my clothes and whatnot.
Yeah.
And where's your water?
He's got Slack on his phone.
In those boxes.
I mean, the ideal thing is to get him into a hotel, which people, like a ton of people have been offering. So if we can convince him to put the boat somewhere else and just get him in a hotel, I think that'll be the most ideal thing.
I just go to sleep. Every time I got into trouble and I pray to God and I just talk to him, but he always told me, go to sleep, it'll be all right in the morning. I go to sleep, I wake up and it's always better in the morning.
Look, man, I get it. He's not, he's not the smartest guy in the world. He's, he's disabled, he doesn't, does that mean he deserves to die penniless in the streets, face down in the gutter, right? No means, nobody giving, no charity, right? Ayn Rand, who, by the way, took plenty of government money and took plenty of charity, Ayn Rand, but right, that's what real strength is. I'm telling you, nothing says broken society more than when individuals like this are, begging for pennies in the streets. Okay, I'm okay with my tax dollars going towards a humble means for this guy. Maybe he's not making a lot of money, maybe paying a lot of taxes, right? He's just getting by, barely getting by. But that's some people are like that. Some people are like that, some people just, they want to paint, and that doesn't mean that they should be, be given a mansion and an Obama phone and, and luxuries and all these kind of things. No, but a simple roof over their head and a hot meal. We can't afford that. You're kidding me. We can't afford that shit, huh? Jeff Bezos has a yacht inside of his yacht, but we got to talk about how the guy without a leg and living in a boat, he's got to starve to death because we just don't have the money.
Sleeping for Milton?
Oh yeah. I mean,
I don't buy it.
Once the boat's over the water and the wind's hitting me on the nose, the boat's going to be steady. It's going to be
this rhetoric from Bulletproof over here. He could be a functioning member of society. This idea that you have to be a functioning member of society, whatever that qualifies. Basically, that means you're working for a corporation or working for somebody else. We need to get beyond the idea that you have to be selling your labor to live, to survive, because there are human beings that are no longer capable of selling their labor. Do we really want a society that sucks you dry, and then the moment you're no longer able to carry the bucket, you get thrown into the fucking pit? Right? You get thrown to the wolves. Well, you're no longer productive. You're no longer a functioning member of society. To the wolves. You're useless to us. Is that really the society we want? That's not what I want. Okay, I'm not saying give this guy a mansion. I'm not saying, $100,000 a year and, fuel his drug habits and all these kind of things. A hot meal and a fucking humble roof, right? A bathroom, a toilet to take a shit in, and a bed to take a nap in. We can do that as a society. We can do that. Bulletproof, I agree with that. If this man wanted to re-enter the workforce, if this man wanted to earn a wage and wanted to get back out there, he should have the ability to get the training and have an opportunity to do that. But at the same time, if he doesn't have the ability, I mean, come on, this guy, literally a hurricane is happening around him. He goes to sleep in his bed and he just crosses his fingers. Okay? Not exactly Fortune 500 material, okay? Hey, you got those papers? You got that memo for me finished? What? I'm sleeping in my boat during a hurricane. Leave me alone. I'm on my 17th cigarette today.
Direction, and the only thing I got to worry about is the wind blowing me around a little bit and the tide going up.
Bulletproof.
I'm not concerned.
At least Jay doesn't have to worry about sandbags.
Obtuse.
Guys, back up. There's more coming. You gotta leave room. There's enough sand for everybody. Relax and back up.
Okay, Mini Mussolini. He's not wrong, but it's also comical. He looks like an angry baby. I'm sorry. He's keeping the peace. He's doing his job, but he also looks like a tiny angry baby.
And back up.
Okay. All right.
So you have St. Pete police on sand patrol, like literally having to direct people away from the pile of sand because there's so many people that are
bulletproof. I'm not selling the guy short, but I also don't want to build a system where he is like literally forced to break his back and give everything to some to make a dime so that he can stay alive. I don't think that's a humane system.
They're just desperate to get their bags. So it's like he's directing traffic, but it's people with their shovels and their sandbags waiting to fill up what they can.
Yeah, thank you, Bulletproof. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Couple things happening here.
See, I'm not asking for much, right, Bulletproof? I'm not asking for much here. In terms, look, you have a conservative mindset. You're like, hey, man, there's nothing wrong with a meritocracy. There's nothing wrong with people, being given the means to stand on their own, right? There's nothing wrong with those things, and I agree with all that. But you want to come at me with this corny ass conservative mindset, and of course you're not Bulletproof. But a lot of people, here's your bootstraps. Pick yourself up, and By people making the argument are so far from that fucking ideology, it's laughable. Oh, pick yourself up, huh? Yeah. Says the guy that went to free public school that is happy to call the cops or call the fire department if there's a problem. Welcome back, Ribbons. And welcome back, Lenny from south of Boston, #1 financial contributor to the stream. Lenny, and also an amazing streamer who is streaming today. If you missed it, I'm sorry I missed it. I was driving my wife to work. But Lenny, great show, and he's streaming in the mornings. He's streaming in the mornings, folks. You got to catch the Lenny stream. Like and subscribe. #more Lenny. All right, I'm running out of time here. The sandbag. We're going to cut it off at the sandbags here. I'm just going to show you some of this amazing footage that I was able to find. Of course, Lenny, of course. This footage is bananas, okay? Because it's a whole saga, and I might have to skip around a little bit. But there's a person in this house, and the house is like getting swept away. And the person is like stuck. And they're trying to like rescue this person before they get swept away on the house. She's like a 60-year-old woman of some sort, 50, 60. Still, she has a life vest on, but this is what it looks like in real time. And the footage is what happens is so traumatic. It's a young person. It's like a teenager or something filming this. She starts weeping and crying because it's like this woman was almost dead. If it wasn't for the actions of these incredibly brave guys who risked their lives to get into hurricane waters, to get into these rushing waters, to pull this woman back to shore, this woman would have died.
It's gonna hit the house.
Sandbagging the show with sandbag segments. How poetic. Oh, he got me. Okay. So as you can see, it's a little slow at first. But it's kind of hard to see what we're looking at. But trust me, so the house starts moving. There's like a person on the house. House starts moving. Hey, Jingaroo. Hey, you're right. Yeah. It sounds like he just he ties up the boat as best he can, and then he just takes a nap and hopes for the best. But yeah, so it's hitting a tree. It's going through the tree. It's crazy. It's happening right in front of them. And there's a human being like on the porch or in the house or something. Yeah, she's there. They do not have a houseboat license. The woman was immediately arrested as soon as she survives. But trust me, she was immediately arrested for illegally operating a houseboat without a permit. So don't worry about that, Terry. Yeah, so people are just, you know, and what do you do? These waters, you're fucked. Okay, you're not swimming against it. There's two, you know, later in the footage here, there's two guys in there, and they could easily die at any moment. This is unbelievable footage. It's like in real time. And you can hear the tree snapping and snapping, the pressure of the water pushing the house, snapping and breaking the tree. It's like it's only a matter of time. Yeah, Jingaroo. Yeah, I mean this. Yeah. Okay, so is she out? Okay, yeah. So they're out of the house. They got in the water. Thankfully they have life preservers on. Okay, so there they are. Kind of hard to tell. I think it's the red. I think she's wearing red, I think. So sorry about the shaky cam. She's just catching up. So these guys are absolute heroes. This guy in the yellow vest is a bona fide hero. But the guy standing in the water as well is risking his life right here. This guy could die at any moment. It's incredibly dangerous water. You slip and fall, and then you're screwed. So this guy, he's desperate, right? He's trying to canoe, trying to get there. He's like, nope, not gonna get there. He gets in the water. He gets in the water, dude. Gets in the water. Okay, and the other guy's following him. Okay, and you can kind of see it for just a few seconds. You can kind of see it for just a few seconds. This right here, I think this is the woman right here, and this is where the yellow vest guy is, and this is the other guy, right? And I think the other guy doesn't have a life preserver. The yellow vest guy does. So it's happening in real time. This is it. He either snags her, or this is it. You get one shot. Fucking mom spaghetti over here. This is it. One shot, and everyone's watching. Okay, yep. Hold on, sorry. All right, so we're catching up. There they are. And you can hear it's the seriousness, the dreadful seriousness of the situation is starting to hit our camera person here, who I believe is a young woman. So here we go. So it's, I don't know if it happens off camera, but amazingly, the guy in the yellow vest catches up to the woman in red and pulls her ass back in. Hero. You know, and people are desperately. This would probably be me right here. You know, the guy with the hose. He's like, well, I got to do something. We got to find something. We got to, you know, get something to pull these guys in. You know, I don't. You know, you're not going to be able to lasso these. You know, but they're desperate. But the guy with the yellow vest was the one that did it. She would have been floating and bobbing for miles. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. The guy, he's like, what a hero. Wow. This guy's sitting down. Yeah, he's going to be completely wiped out. He's not a spring chicken. The guy's 30 or 40 at least. So there you go. Amazing footage. Absolutely amazing. In real time, whole 7 minutes of it, right from the beginning the dramatic, the house smashing in, her jumping in the water. Amazing footage. All right, folks, I got time for one more video. It's this really great piece of footage here from the AP showing crews searching for survivors in North Carolina. This is just a couple days ago, I think yesterday. Yes, this is one day ago. And, they're floating around trying to find people that made the wrong decision. And, it doesn't always turn out that well. Probably often that direction probably is more often deadly than it is. But yeah, it's what was amazing to me is how you get the full scope of it. It's not just like a 30-second, you don't get the context. That that video, you let it breathe a little bit, and you can feel the dread. It's like, okay, there's a chance. And the guy in the boat knew it. The guy in the yellow vest knew it. He's like, I have to do this. I have to get it. It's either I get out of this boat or I lose this woman. And he made the right decision. And let me tell you, there's so many stories of guys like that who make that heroic decision. I've heard stories of guys like that. They go out 2 or 3 times and then they die the 3rd or 4th time. Real hero stuff, hero material right there. And he probably votes Trump. Let's be real, right? Welcome to the complication of human life.
Our whole team, we're out of Wilmington.
Yeah, Wilmington, yes, with and some of
Yeah, bulletproof. Yeah, that's probably one of the. They get dragged down. Apparently, it's a natural for human beings that are drowning, and are panicking. It's natural for them to claw at whatever. If there's a person there, they'll claw, and because they're panicking, they're not thinking. They end up drowning the person that's saving them. It's a natural human response, apparently.
Okay.
So there we have the Trump, right? Sorry about the bad quality. This is the highest quality I can get here.
Well, I had to just stay here in my bed and wait until.
Yeah. So, the things that I disagree wholeheartedly with the things that this man has to say. But once again, I go back to what I said originally. Even though I disagree with this man's politics vehemently, as a liberal, I disagree with him that he should just be, if you lose your house, you're screwed. You don't have insurance, too bad. Here's some bootstraps and, enjoy the warmth of the gutter. That's what he is voting for. Am I wrong? He's got the Trump flag out front. He's voting for bootstraps. He doesn't want to lose his house. He doesn't want to be homeless, but he continues to vote against his own self-interests. As a liberal that understands that you have to govern for everybody, even though I vehemently disagree with this guy, even though he is a useful idiot voting against his own self-interest, I still don't want to see him homeless. I would like him to receive help from the local and federal government so that he can live the rest of his life in dignity. And if a natural disaster does do something horrible, that he should be, be allowed to have that dignified rest of his life, no matter where it's at. Funded by the government, funded by the local government. It's pretty fucked up, man. It's there's no amount of I could tie this guy to a chair and I could show him video and hard evidence that not only does the party he supports despise him, but the party that he supports is actively working against him. And it's still, you wouldn't change his mind. Fake news, liberal.
Hopefully it receded, which it did. I think it was the next day.
So we don't know that, Jingaroo. We don't know. Look, as we just saw, that guy, that hero in the yellow vest, I almost guarantee you he votes Republican or doesn't vote at all. Okay? It's human being. It's more complicated than that. And the way that conservatives operate is that they don't give a shit about you if they don't know you, but they will take a bullet for you if you're close, if you know them, if they know you. It's a small town dichotomy, rural kind of thing. It's weird. They only empathize and can understand the things that are in front of them, the things that are in their direct orbit. If it's unknown to them, they couldn't give a shit. Die in a ditch. They don't care. Yeah, convince them Trump is trans. Yeah, there you go. That'd do it.
Went to the locker, got on the book set. Everything that came back. But everything I have, including all my medicines from the VA, they were all floating around in the water. And
So he's getting medicine from the VA. What does Project 2025 want to do with the VA? They want to cut. They want to cut.
Afraid to take stuff. Like I said, I'm afraid to even drink the water that I had, the bottled water, because it was all underwater and it wasn't just water.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's talking about, you know, his medicine bottles and his bottled water floating around in tepid sewage water, and he's like, I don't even want to drink it, you know.
So long now, I can't smell it, but I'm sure it really stinks. Several people have asked me or told me that I needed to get out of here, and I said, well, where am I going to go? This is my home. I own the home. I rent the property, but I own the home, and this is all I've got.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to. I just don't want to give it up, because what am I going to do? Be homeless?
And it's really tragic, because, you know, his Republican conservative mindset, it's either it's have or have nots. I don't want to be a have not. I like having property. I'm renting it. You know, it's income for me. I simply can't fathom a third way. You know, a third way of being, a third way of living. That's the tragedy of it, you know, because there are other ways of handling, you know, if this man understood that the government would help him regardless of what happens, that if he leaves and goes to a refugee camp and comes back and his house is gone, that he's still going to be taken care of, that, you know, that there are systems in place. He's like, no, there are no systems. This is it. It's this or bootstraps. And he can't even fathom of a third way.
No, I don't want to be homeless. I'd rather die right here than to live homeless.
So I mean, that's like he's making a very binary choice, right? It's either die here or become homeless, and I'd rather just die here. He literally can't even conceive of a third way, and you know, I would put my blame squarely on, you know, right-wing media. You know, vilifying socialism, of course, but also, you know, refusing to talk about actual issues, you know, refusing to talk about, you know, real actual politics that actually affects people. He can't even conceive. He can't even conceive of a world where the government could possibly help him out if his home was taken away. I might as well just die with a home because I know I'm totally screwed. That's tragic. This man's he served. It's utterly tragic.
Because I've been through hell in the Marine Corps in Vietnam, and have I survived that?
Yeah, I guess I'll die.
I surely can survive this.
No, dude, you can't. I survived the hell of Vietnam. I can survive this. Okay. Kind of different, but it's tragic. You can't even conceive of an alternative. It's utterly tragic. You know, does that mean, you know, useful idiots deserve, you know, total pity, and, you know, there's just, you know, no, but you liberals, there's a certain flavor of liberal that does, you know, the Hillary Clinton style of liberal that does need to kind of have a better understanding of the fact that these are human beings, that they're wrong. You know, they live in a country where it's okay to be wrong. You know, there's no punishment for being wrong in a free and fair democracy. So, free democracy, I wouldn't call it fair, huh? But yeah, they're looking for bodies. They're using these dogs to look for bodies that are buried in the mud. All whining if their cappuccino's warm. Yeah, I mean, you know, the limousine liberal stereotypes and whatnot. It's very real, though. It's very real. Yeah, Lenny. I'll keep my eyes peeled for any follow up on this, because yeah, I mean, tomorrow this guy's home might be swept away. We don't know. Here's a link to the story right here if you want to know more yourself. I don't have time right now to show you this dramatic footage. I guess I can show it to you on mute, but sorry, I have to get going. I have to pick up my son from daycare. Sorry. I have responsibilities. But how about that, huh, folks? 3 streams in a row. I'm keeping the momentum up. Sorry, Lenny, if I stepped on your toes. You know, I'm very sorry that our stream schedules are clashing sometimes. But you know, 3 streams in a row. We're going to keep it up. Thank you. Yeah, my bitch tits really make it look really cool. But no, I'm going to try to keep the momentum up. We're going to try to take the streams more seriously, take the news more seriously, try to bump these rookie ass numbers up, try to get more engagement. Of course, you know, I'll be starting to take donations soon-ish once I get everything perfect, once I get it set up perfectly. Then we'll start talking about real money. You'll be able to, you know, donate $1 and do something funny on the screen. Everyone seems to love to do that. You know, you can, I don't know, maybe I'll get that GIF of Dumb and Dumber of, you know, of the guy taking a massive shit in the toilet, and I'll be talking about something really serious, and you can donate $1, and then just, you know, I won't be able to skip it. It'll just be this image of this guy taking a massive shit in a toilet, and there's nothing I could do about it. I know you can't wait. I know you can't wait for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like, oh, I mean, you know, abortion's pretty serious. I know that's what you want to do. I know that's what you want to do, you sickos. You want to just poop all over everything. What am I doing? What am I doing? Just real quick, attack my entire audience before I leave. Thanks for coming, by the way. Bunch of shit-obsessed weirdos. No, you guys are great. Ice King of Space, Lenny, Bulletproof Bullet, thank you so much for having a constructive conversation. I appreciate it. Chem Goblin, big props to you, #1 in the chat. Chem Goblin, Jingaroo, I think you're a new viewer. Thank you for coming in. Tisriel, all the way over there from Ukraine, as well as Chem Goblin. We'll be talking about Ukraine very soon, don't you worry, as well as Gaza, Israel. The Ponder Monkey and Female Eunuchs, you people are amazing. Thank you for coming back in. I do, from the depths of my very, very tiny heart, I do appreciate it. Thank you, Woke Patriot. Big props to you, Woke Patriot. Thank you for coming back in. The Terry, are we having fun yet? I believe we are. Big props to you. Zeo Duke, your boy Zeo Duke. Ribbons over here. Any lurkers, anybody that's stuck, you know, that doesn't, they feel intimidated by the chat, I get you. It's a, you got to come correct in this chat. You're not, you know, it's not fucking Clown Town, okay? So I get it. Some people are probably like, ooh, boy, I better make sure I know what I'm talking about before I say something. I think I'm okay with that, though. Thank you, Kanye West, for coming in. Big props to you. Borderline Feline, welcome back. So it's so nice. Thank you. Big props. iPlatinum Solidity, thank you for your links. Stickers for cookers. Still don't know what the hell that name is. It makes me a little worried, but what can you do? Thank you for coming back. Seems all above board. Something about it doesn't seem above board, but it's above board. It's fine. Lee Spanner. Yeah, so your update on your daughter. Yeah, she is okay. I don't think she is leaving. Yikes, Lee. Well, and any daughter of Lee is going to have a smart head on her shoulder. So hopefully she's making the right decision. She's doing the right thing. But I do hope she survives this. It's going to be a biggie. It's going to be a biggie. Maybe it won't. Maybe it won't. A lot of people are saying it's gonna. I don't think we should take a risk. But hopefully Lee is okay. Thank you, OG Lee, for coming back. Ford the Perfect, big props to you. Thank you, Ford the Perfect. Our friend from Brazil, who just came in and then left after I talked about Brazilian booty. It's understandable. No one wants to hear that. Australian appetizers. What? Where is this clown town? Is it close? It's a couple miles away from Pound Town. And let me tell you, the confusion never ends with these two locations, okay? You know, there's some crossover, of course, but most people who want to go to one, they don't want to go to the other. And let me tell you, the confusion is hilarious. All right, everybody. Hold on here. Since we're talking about clowns, we're going to go ahead and end it on some clown core. Thank you so much for coming to the News Underground. Peace in that motherfucking Middle East. Glory to the Ukrainian democracy. We'll see you next time. Cougars! Woo! Kisses. Kisses. Oh yeah, it's this good. It's this good. Oh yeah. Ha 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 ha.